Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, how are you doing today? Hope must be having good time. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Sami IELTS. This is Sayyid Samuel Haq and you're watching my YouTube channel. Dear students, today we're going to start with the previous lecture and welcome to part 4, Capitalization chapter. Today we're going to discuss the remaining rules. And dear students, if you remember, we started Capitalization chapter and we discussed almost 13 rules so far. And today we're going to open rule number 14. Capitalization chapter, dear students, if you want to have a quick idea of the previous lectures, please do watch my previous videos recorded on capitalization part 1, part 2 and part 3. So let's start with part 4, students. Okay. Rule number 14. Abbreviation, please. Abbreviation. We discussed 13 rules, okay, and all those 13 rules were all about, capitalization rules that, when you write something in English, so you must be very much careful whether this is capital or small, because these kind of mistakes are considered really stupid mistakes in English grammar, and, these mistakes leave very bad impression on the checkers. Rule number 14 is abbreviation. First of all, and the supreme of all, let's discuss what abbreviation is. Right. So, dear, the definition of abbreviation. Look, a shortened form of a word is called abbreviation. A shortened form of a word is called abbreviation. If I say, for example, let me give you one very easy example. That is SHO, PTI. If I say PMS, right? So, we don't need to use full word or we don't need to pronounce full word. And we take the shortened form and the short, letters of each word, and then we prepare a sort of abbreviation. No, this is called the definition now, please. Let's go ahead and let me give you some examples. Look, please, now. For example, FIR, for example, CNG, for example, SHO. Now, instead, if I say first information report, so we make it short, right? So making a word short, right? And then taking the first letter of each word and preparing its another, form. This is called abbreviation now. For example, FIR, right? So we don't say first information report or first investigation report. We don't say this thing. We straight away say FIR. If I say CNG, so shortcut form is CNG, but the detailed explanation is C for compressed and N for natural and gay, G for gays here. And then the same, SHO, the same S for station and H for house and O for officer. But remember, students, whenever we want to make something short, so we convert that word into abbreviation form there. So these are a few examples, students. And now rule number 14, that is abbreviation, guys. Remember, students, we're having two types of abbreviation. Fine. Pronounce individually and pronounce collectively. Guys, remember, two types of abbreviations are there in English grammar. Some abbreviations are pronounced individually. Individually means like we pronounce each and every letter separately. For example, I just give you 3 examples: FIR, SHO, or the other one, what we discussed it, earlier here, CNG. Right? So if we see, look at here now, FIR, CNG, SHO, right? So we pronounce them very, very clearly and we pronounce them individually. Separately, we pronounce these abbreviations. So remember, students, what is the first type of abbreviation? That is called pronounced individually. Many abbreviations in English grammar, and they are pronounced individually, they are pronounced separately. While some abbreviation, they are pronounced collectively. Now we'll discuss both the types, okay? Rule number 14 is pronounced individually, and rule 14 is pronounced collectively. Let's discuss pronounce individually, how they look like, and and what they are. For example, look at here now. I have given you a list of abbreviations, and there are so many even you can find in English grammar. Especially, okay, but these are the most prominent ones, and then we use them all the time, and you have heard all these abbreviations so many times. For example, PCO, for example, ATM, DSP, PTI, PSO, PC, UK, USA, PTCL, and there are so many more, abbreviations in English language. Now, let's discuss, PCO, for example, public call office. So we don't say public call office, we say shortcut PCO, right? But remember, guys, that P is taken from public, the beginning letter, the first letter of public, that is P. P is taken from public, and C is taken from call, and O is taken from office, and then we prepared another version, and that is called abbreviation form, right? And this is called PCO. Now, the same, we can find so many ATMs. So A is from, automated, and then T for, for teller, and M for machine, and then DSP and Deputy Superintendent of Police, and then we can go with PTI, PSO, Pakistan State Oil there, and per continental, UK, USA, and so many more there now. So let's talk about rule number 14, abbreviations. Those abbreviations which are pronounced individually. Remember, students, all those abbreviations must be written in capital, mood, and with full stops, right? Just you can see here now, P full stop, C full stop, and then ATM, and then DSP. Don't put full stop at the end, because this is something that is still okay, something is going on. If a sentence is ended with these abbreviation, then okay, it makes sense, and then we can, apply, the period or full stop at the end there. But if they come in the middle of the sentences, so don't put full stop after that, okay? Now, look, guys, so what is rule number 14? Please, let's get down to business. Rule number 14 is that whenever you write any abbreviation, and that is individual abbreviation, remember, students, never write those abbreviations in small letters. This is a rule. This is a fixed rule, okay? And you will always write all individual abbreviations in capital letters. Fine. Along with that, don't forget to apply full stops in between these letters. As you see here now, P, T, C, L, and then we're having, even full stop after P, and then T, and then C. So we can find all these. This, this is the standard style of writing abbreviations. Now, guys, remember, we have some exceptional cases as well. Let's discuss then, pronounce collectively. Then we can go towards the exceptional case, right? We have some exceptional cases in individual abbreviation as well. But, before we discuss that, let's discuss rule number 15. And 15 is that those abbreviations which are pronounced collectively, they are not pronounced individually. For example, if we see Mr., if we see doctor. So look, students, we write MR. We write MR, but we never say MR. We always say Mr. Right? We always write DR, but we never say DR. We always say doctor. So this is now pronounced collectively. It is pronounced collectively, right? It is pronounced collectively. We don't say RD, we always say road. We don't say ST, we always say Sant, or Saint Mary, or Saint Cathedral and all that. Okay, then rupees, we never say RS, we always say rupees. Now, please, guys, remember, those abbreviations which are pronounced collectively. So remember that these abbreviations are always, written with capital letters, but the only first letter is always capital, remaining all must be small. For example, Mr., so only M is capital, not R, right? DR only D. RD only R, sand or street, S, rupees, R, private, private, PVT, right? So P is always capital and VT always small. Only private P, the beginning part, the beginning letter of collective abbreviations are always capital. Limited, yes, you can also take the, the example of limited, private, limited, so private PVT, P is capital and VT small. Limited, L capital and TD small there. So these kind of abbreviations are called collective abbreviations, and the only first letter must be capital, remaining all must be small. While in individual abbreviations, every letter must be capitalized, guys. Are you getting me? And again, now there is a question that, okay, can we use full stop after these kind of abbreviations or not? So dear students, both versions are 100% correct, okay? But the only difference is, okay, one is British and the other is American, right? Now, British English, okay, we don't have any full stop in British English. After all abbreviations, after all, collective abbreviations, we don't use full stops. But in American English, yes, we do use full stops after all, collective abbreviations, right? Now, please come to the point again here now. In individual abbreviations, we always use full stops after each and every letter. But in collective abbreviations, we use full stop, or sometimes we don't use full stop there. If we use full stop, okay, that is still fine. This is American English. And if in case you don't use full stop after collective abbreviation, it is still fine because this is British version there. Yes, another major difference that is that all individual abbreviations are capital. Each and every letter is capital. But in collective abbreviations, only the first part of the word is capital. The remaining all are small. I hope rule number 14 is clear and rule 15 is clear. Guys, remember, we're having two types of individual abbreviations, right? Now, as I just discussed earlier, that individual abbreviations are those abbreviations which are written, in caps lock, fine. All letters must be capital. But there are two types: regular individual abbreviations and irregular individual abbreviations. Now, what are regular and what are irregular? Let's discuss, please, now here. Regular, regular individual abbreviations are those individual abbreviations which are written, the same way as they are pronounced. Right? Or in other words, I would say that they are pronounced the same way as they are written, right? So for example, if I say MQM, if I say JUI, if I say PMS, if I say LRH, if I say PTE, right? So look, let's take one example of LRH. Let's suppose PMS. Now, I write PMS. Now, this is individual abbreviation, right? And it's all capital. And guys, can you see this is, with full stop here now. But when we open this, so PMS, so the way it is written, the same way it is pronounced, right? So PMS, so we can say P for Peshawar, M for model, and S for school. If I say LRH, so L for lady and R for reading, and as for hospital there, right? The same way if I say PTE, so Pearson Test of English, so, the way it is written, the same way it is pronounced. But some individual abbreviations are there which are written differently and pronounced differently. They are called irregular abbreviations. And let me give you the examples. Now, look at here. The examples of irregular abbreviations are here, guys. Now look, these are the examples of irregular abbreviations. Look, we write MBBS, right? Okay. But, when we open this word, right? So MBBS, but we don't say, in the same way, right? So we say M, so there is no M here, but there is bachelor. First is a bachelor here now, right? It is irregular, right? So MBBS, but when we open this word, then we say Bachelor of Medicine and the Bachelor of Surgery. So that is very much different, the way it is written and the way it is, like opened and pronounced, it is very much opposite to each other there. here. So this is what this is called irregular abbreviation. Let me give you another example. CSS and PCS exams, you must have heard these names. Now PCS, look at here. Now we say PCS, but when we open this word, we say Public Service Commission. So it should be PSC, but no, we don't say PSC. We say PCS, but when we open this word, then we say Public Service Commission, right? Here we say MBBS, so it should be BMBS. Because Bachelor of Medicine, right? So it should be BMBS. No, we say MBBS, but when we open this word, then we say, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. So it is completely opposite to each other, right? Now LLB, if we say, look at here now, Bachelor of Law. So look at here. Again, is very much different. These kind of abbreviations are always written differently and pronounced differently, guys. Hope you understood. Whatever the case is, if it is pronounced, like regularly, if it is pronounced irregularly, if it is regular abbreviation, or if it is irregular abbreviation, in all the cases, all individual abbreviations must be written in capital mood with full stops after each and every letter. Guys, remember, we have some exceptional cases. Now look at here, please. We have, like exceptional cases here. Now these are individual abbreviations. According to rules, I just taught you that all individual abbreviations are always capital, right? Exceptional cases are here without these cases. Although they are, individual abbreviations, yet they are written small. For example, if I say AM, PM, IE, EG, ETC, WEF, right? These are all individual abbreviations, but they are never written in capital mood, right? They're always written in small letters. And for example, AM, anti-meridium, right? We can say PM, post-meridium. If you can say, IE, that is, and then EG, example, Gracia, ETC, etc. And then WEF with effect from. Now, guys, remember, these are abbreviations, right? But they are written small. These are exceptional cases. Other than these, abbreviations, all abbreviations are always written in capital mood and with full stops. Full stops are also here, and full stop will be there as well in capital letters. But some exceptional cases, and I know you must be having these questions that, sir, these are also abbreviations, and LRH, and PMS, and PCO, and FIR, and DSP, and SHO, and like CNG. These are also abbreviations. So then why they are capital and why they are small? So this is what the exceptional case that I brought here, so that you shouldn't be confused, when reading and when you write some abbreviations. Anyway, guys, this is all about the chapter 14, okay? Now, chapter 14 abbreviation is ended. Again, let me, just give you a quick review, okay? Rule number 14 is what? Rule number 14 is abbreviation, okay? And rule number 15 is also abbreviation. But abbreviation has two types, okay? Pronounced individually, pronounced collectively. Fine. Rule number 14 is pronounced individually. All individual abbreviations are always written in capital mood, while all collective abbreviations are written in capital mood, but the only first letter is capital, the rest all small. These two were the basic things, and we discuss in detail, then exceptional cases, then regular individuals, irregular individual. I hope things are more clear. Let's move on and let's discuss now. Yes, okay, this is a complete summary, okay? So this is a full summary, complete, overview of the previous two types. Rule number 14 is pronounced individually. Rule 14 is pronounced collectively. Then we're having two types of, individual abbreviations, right? And regular and irregular. And then we are having, collectively, we're having Mr. Dot, and these are all. And look, even LTD. So guys, can you see here now, the first letter is capital, remaining all small here, while here all are capital, fine, and with full stops there. This is a quick overview of the individual abbreviations. Now guys, rule number 16, acronym. Very, very, different story. 16. So what is acronym? First of all, let's discuss, and define acronym. Basically, this is a bit higher level and a bit, like senior level of abbreviation. Abbreviation is a bit low level, fine. Acronym is basically a bit higher level. And an abbreviation formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as a word. Pronounced as a word. Let me make it easy for you guys. What is acronym? The collection of letters. Okay, the collection of letters, two or more than two letters collected and pronounced as a word, but every letter stands for, a separate word. It is called acronym. This is, okay, a kind of like, more comprehensive definition, but, with more explanation, I just, gave this definition that acronym is the collection of letters, okay, is the collection of letters which is pronounced as a word, but every letter stands for a separate word. It is called acronym. Let me give you some examples. Okay, let's suppose, see now here, we're having many examples: VOBDA, IELTS, TOEFL, PESCO, PEPCO, NATO. These are all. Now guys, if you feel here now, all are written capital. So remember, rule number 16 is what? That any acronym, right, which even you write in a continuous writing or anywhere you write, it is always written in capital. For example, VOBDA, right? Okay, if you go with even IELTS, right? Even TOEFL, PESCO, PEPCO, NATO. Guys, can you see? I don't pronounce it W-A-P-D-A. No. I always say VOBDA. So basically, I pronounce as a word. I pronounce as a word IELTS. I pronounce as a word TOEFL. I pronounce as a word PESCO, PEPCO, NATO, UNICEF, UNESCO. There are so many, words, right, which are basically, the collection of letters, but pronounced as words, and every letter stands for a separate word. Let me give you the example here of VOBDA, Water and Power Development Authority. But guys, look, full word, okay, the beginning, the first letter is taken and prepared a word. It is called acronym. Now, if I say, okay, TOEFL, like, a test of English as a foreign language. And if we see PESCO, Peshawar Electric Supply Company, and PEPCO, okay, Pakistan Electric Power Company, even NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and there are so many, UNICEF even, you can take the example of UNICEF even, you can take the example of even, UNESCO. Even I recently heard a very, sweet acronym, Islam, ISLAM, and even some grammarian, they say that I shall love Allah and Muhammad. So look at here now, that is something that, okay, a new acronym, this is now invented. But anyway, all these are acronyms. Guys, now please come to the point here. Acronyms are letters, okay, the collection of letters, okay, which is pronounced as a word, okay, and every letter stands for a separate word. Now, rule number 16 is what? All acronyms must be written capital. If you write, these acronyms small, they will give very separate meaning, and this is totally incorrect, okay? You should not write acronyms in small letters. And one more thing, guys, if you apply full stop after W, after A, and after P, and after D, so it becomes individual abbreviation. So guys, look at here now, only one full stop makes it a very, different story. You apply a full stop here, so this is now individual abbreviation. The other person will read it W-A-P-D-A, if in case you put full stop here. But if you remove full stops, so the other person will pronounce it as a word there, VOBDA. Let's take the example of I. After I, if I put full stop, and after E full stop, after L full stop, after T full stop, so the other person will pronounce it separately. He would say IELTS. Yes, because he will pronounce it individually, and it becomes individual abbreviation. But if in case you remove full stops and you write all capital, so the reader will pronounce it as an acronym, and it will be pronounced as a word, which is IELTS, which is TOEFL, which is PESCO. So guys, remember, this is all acronym. Rule number 16 is what, guys? Acronym. All acronyms are written, in capital letters without full stops, okay? Guys, again, we are having two types of acronyms, regular and irregular. Okay, so this is all, like now two types of acronyms, right? Regular and irregular. Now, guys, look at here. UNICEF, IELTS, WAPDA. Guys, if you can, like, notice these things here that all these are regular acronyms, okay? And the way they're pronounced, the same way it is, they are written there, or the way they are written, the same way they're pronounced as well there. But, for example, okay, news. So, north, east, west, and south. Okay, if I say, for example, PESCO, or even WAPDA here, or even IELTS. For example, UNESCO, United Nations International, Children Emergency Fund. So this is all, like, look, again, the way they are written, the same way they are pronounced. But some acronyms are irregular. For example, NADRA. Now look, NADRA, we say NADRA, but if you open this word, so we say National Database and Registration Authority. So it is, upright, fine. It is straight away irregular. The way we write it, the same way is not pronounced. And we say NADRA, but if you open the word NADRA, so it stands for National Database and Registration Authority. It should be Nadara or something like this, yeah? Okay, then TOEFL, look at here now. We write, okay, TOEFL, right? But normally we pronounce like TOEFL, and then many students, even teachers, they say TOEFL. So TOEFL, it should be TOFEL. Right, we pronounce it TOEFL, but we say, even we write it TOEFL. Yes, Snooz's Academy, okay, this organization where I'm standing, right, Students Network of Zenith Studies. Now, Zenith Studies, again, is upright, or this is irregular acronym, guys. I hope that you understood all about rule number 14, 15, and 16. In today's video, you learned 3 new rules, okay? Let me give you a quick overview of the entire lecture, please, now. So, rule number 14 is, this is called abbreviation, okay? Right? What is abbreviation? A shortened form of a word is called abbreviation. Then we're having 2 types of abbreviation, right? Individually and collectively. All abbreviation which are written individually are always written in capital mode, okay? And with full stops are there. While individual abbreviations are those abbreviations which are written in, which are pronounced collectively, but the first letter is always capital, right? Not the remaining all. Yes, after collective abbreviation, full stop is exceptional case whether we use full stop or not. Fine. In British English, yes, we don't use, but in American English we use full stop there. Now let's talk about acronym. Fine. Acronym is basically the collection of letters which is pronounced as word, and all acronyms are written capital without full stop there. This is all about rule number 14, 15, and 16, guys, okay? Inshallah, in my upcoming video, I'll be bringing remaining, 3, 4, rules of capitalization. And keep watching Sami IELTS for quality education. Keep watching this channel and take very good care of yourself. Have a nice day. Have a nice time. Take very good care of this channel. Take very good care of yourself as well. See you soon, inshallah, with another very informative lecture all about capitalization. And then, I'm also going to upload punctuation chapter as well. Guys, please, I really appreciate the comments that you drop there. I'm noting down all those, problematic areas where you have issues. And please, students, if you have any issue regarding grammar, capitalization, punctuation, IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, CAE, all international certificates, please drop your comment, in the comment box so that I can come to know something about your problematic areas and I can record my upcoming videos on those areas as well. Please do give me your feedback so that we can improve this channel more and we can bring more quality education as well. Yes, my number is there on the screen. I would definitely appreciate your very positive comments. Inshallah, see you soon. Have a nice day. Have a nice time. Take very good care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.